It did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Well,
Makes it worse, yes.
well, I'm yesterday, I like to think.
All right. The part of this lesson that we're not going to do is how to find slope. Because I feel like you guys should know slope. You did slope in Algebra 1, you did slope in pre-algebra, you did slope in geometry, you did slope in Algebra 2. A lot of slope. So, what letter represents slope? M. So, is it M equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1?
That makes sense. Yes.
That should be familiar. That should not be anything new. That should be something that, oh my gosh, that is so easy I can do slope. Is it? Do you need a problem to see? No, you're good? All right. Because like I said, we're not going to do this. We're going to use it. All right? We're going to need two forms of our equation today. The first form is slope-intercept. Now, that's what you all told me a while ago. I heard somebody say this. Slope-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. You remember that? In the slope, what is b? Where it crosses the y-axis. It's the y-intercept, but just to make sure you understand what that is, it's where it crosses the y-axis, right? So, if I give you an equation such as 2x minus 4y equals 8, I ask you, first of all, to write it in slope-intercept form. Can you? Slope-intercept form means I solve for what? Y. So can I move 2x over here? So negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. Now what? So y equals what? 1/2 x 2. Right? We agree with that. What is the slope? What is the y-intercept? I'm checking to see if they're going to require that you put it as a point. And I really am not sure. Yes, they are.
So 0.
So y-intercept is 0 what? -2. Now, can you graph this? Go with me. What does the y-intercept mean?
It starts at -2.
I'm just going to do a sketch graph. On the y-axis, I have a point at -2, right?
And then you go up 1 over 2.
The slope is, have you heard it said as rise over run? You know what that means? Up and down on top, right or left on bottom, right? Up 1 over 2. So here would be my line. It is a line, which means it has arrows on the end. Correct? That's the first thing we're going to do. Have you done this before?
Yes.
What would we do if we had a negative slope? Should we do one of those? Let's do a hard one. X over 4 plus y over 7 equals 1. move the x. Isn't that what I need to do?
Yeah.
So y over 7 equals negative x over 4 plus y.
And then multiply by 7.
Y equals, what does this go in front of the x now?
Negative 728. Negative 7 over 4.
Negative 7 over 4?
Yeah.
Plus 7? Okay, how am I going to graph this? Maybe I should do a real graph on this one.
So big.
Yeah,
So it's kind of a big.
I want it there. Where's it cross the y-axis?
7.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the slope. Does a negative go with the 7 or the 4?
7. Yes, 7.
It doesn't matter. One or the other, not both. All right? So, do you want to...
Line either way.
Yes, you're correct.
It's whatever side you can't go on.
That is correct. So, if I put it with the 7, don't I go down 7? Over. Which way's over?
Right.
And there's my line. Like that. So we know how to do positive slopes, negative slopes. Now let's talk about types of functions before we move on. All right? Do you know what a linear function is? No. Here's a linear. This is the 3 kind we're going to use. Linear, constant, or neither. If x and y are both raised to the first power, it's a linear line. That's what it's called, a linear function, actually. So if they're not raised to any power, they're just normal, it's linear. Okay? So this would contain x to the first and y to the first, right? Constant happens when there is no x. Guess when neither happens? When it's not linear or constant. There's a whole bunch of other kinds, but we're not going into that today. All we're saying is either linear, constant, or neither one of those. All right? F of x is negative 3/4 x. Is f of x y? Yeah? So is this a linear function? It is, isn't it? This is linear.
So we're just naming it if it's linear or whatever.
What about this function?
Constant.
Constant. What about this function? Neither. That is actually not to the first power because it's on the bottom. If I move it to the top, it is now to the -1 power. Remember, do you remember that negative exponents move it to the other side of the fraction? We're not getting into that today, but that's why it's not linear.
So if the x is in the denominator, it's here.
Yes. That's, you good with that? Okay. Point slope. Does the word point slope or the sentence point slope mean anything to you? Do you remember what it means?
No, because there's a formula.
There is a formula.
Oh, it's this one. Yeah.
Remember this formula?
No. I don't like this one.
It's just like the slope formula.
Yeah, but like, no.
Yes, it is. All I did was multiply both sides out by the x. Oh, okay. You don't have to like it, but it is just like it. Oh.
Chandler, math doesn't revolve around what you like, so.
I realize this, but my math experience can. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen this.
Okay. If I give you this, the directions say, write the equation through the given point that has the slope, and you're going to write it in slope-intercept form. That means your end result is y equals. All right? Can I fill this in? Do I have an x1, a y1, and an m?
Yep.
So y, what? Plus 6 equals negative 3 times what? X minus 1. So y plus 6 equals negative 3x plus 3. So y equals negative 3x minus 3. Right? You good with that? Now, in the book, it says, now rewrite the equation using f of x. You do not have to do that. However, I want you to realize that that y, if that was an f of x, it would be the same thing. Do you?
Yes.
I don't see any reason that you have to write an equation twice, but you do have to know y and f of x is the same thing.
Should we get bonus for doing that?
No! It's too early in this semester to get bonus. Do you not know that? It's too early in the semester to get bonus. Yeah, excuse your grade. Because if I only give, as an example, if I only give one bonus a semester, and I give it now, it's going to raise your grade a whole lot more than it's going to raise it in April. So people think, oh, look how high my grade is, I don't have to do homework. And then, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how it's easier.
It's a psychology thing. Think about it. It's like the treatment of the mind. The mind's trick.
I mean, I don't care how it's said, I'd rather take a bonus. Both things, you know.
Sammy just wants more than one. All right. You're given 2 points. You're asked to come up with slope-intercept form. What am I missing first? M. Can I find M? What is M? Y2 minus Y1.
4 over negative 3.
Do you all agree with that? Yeah? We're good? So, now I need to use point slope form. And it's called point slope form because we use a point and we use a slope.
So you just pick
Which
one
point do you want to use?
or one.
4, 1. Okay. So y minus 1 equals negative 4/3 x minus 4. Is this like super easy for you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
I told you, didn't I?
Yeah. This is like 8th grade.
So y minus 1 equals negative 4/3 x plus what?
3/3 minus 6. Because if it's
No, no, no. This times this. 16/3? Are you ahead of me, Caden?
maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just
No, he was just doing the math.
oh, you got an arm like that?
Wow. Y equals negative 4/3 x.
I don't know what that number is.
Really?
19/3.
You can't add 1 to 16/3?
I can do that.
1 and 16.
She could too.
Well, we already said the answer, so it's
1 and 16/3. Oh, good. Real good. All right. One more thing.
One more.
One more. This is easy. You're going to be given a graph.
You don't have to graph it.
Yes, that was what we did the very first thing.
What's the first time? Yeah.
Okay. What is this?
A line. A parabola.
A parabola. When we have a shape, there are different kinds of lines that go with it.
What?
For example, this
Oh, I feel like I remember this.
is called a tangent line.
I never remember this. Don't like this.
Good. How many times has the tangent line touched it?
Once.
Once.
Look at me. I got it. Come on.
Okay? That's a tangent line. This line, we want a different color for this one. This line is called a secant.
Oh, it's in. Oh, wow. I want you to write something.
I know.
Type something. Oh, right.
Secant line. All right? What we're going to do is find the slope of the secant line. What is this point? It is called the average rate of change. That's what slope is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So negative 3, 3. What is this line, or this point? So how do I find the slope of this line? So negative 1 minus 3. 5 what?
5 plus 3.
Negative 1/2.
Wait, what are the points for?
Figure out the slope.
No, like, is that what? How do we get them?
Well, I looked and I said, what point is that right there?
Where it intercepts?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what the secant line does, is intersects. We good? Okay, this is what we're doing today.